We are live at Harvard University. You know, nobody's saying yes to interview with me. Maybe they're busy. Maybe it's midterms. Maybe it's finals. I don't know. Never been here before. But it's fun. It's nice. It's pretty. Hopefully they say yes to interviewing because I feel like they have some good opinions. Or maybe very bad ones. Similar but different a little bit is, do you think men should be feminists?
I think if feminism entails like equal rights and opportunities for women, then yeah, men should be feminists.
Okay. Do you think men should be feminists?
Yeah, I don't mind that men being feminists. You could have, it's just about equal rights. Men should be supportive of equal rights of women, so I don't see any reason why men shouldn't be feminists.
Yeah.
The manliest thing to do would be to compete on an equal playing field with women.
Oh.
If you're such a man, if you think that you're the best man in the world, you're the strongest man, then you can show that you're better than any other applicant, regardless of gender, without any artificial barriers holding women back.
You cooked.
You should.
What a...
It's true.
Yeah, no, phenomenal answer. I love anyways, phenomenal, great. Do you think, okay. What do you think? How do you think race has impacted this presidential election that we're about to see?
I think, of course, it's like pretty politicized. I think every year the U.S. gets more and more politicized. I feel like a lot of social issues and like battlegrounds are being drawn based on like not just race, but like all facets of identity.
Sure.
And so, yeah, I think there's a pretty prominent impact.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Next question is, who is responsible, or who would you say is responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade?
I'd say Donald Trump's three, appointed Supreme Court justices are responsible for overturning Roe v. Wade.
Yeah, for sure. And what if any, what level of responsibility would you attribute to Donald Trump for appointing those justices?
Yeah, I think he's tried to distance himself, and now he says he's a protector of women. He's father of IVF. He ran on a campaign of overturning Roe v. Wade.
Yeah.
He overturned Roe v. Wade. Now Roe v. Wade has been overturned. He has to kind of own up to that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Question is, do you know who this is?
Yes.
Who is that?
Malcolm X.
Amazing. One of one. Do you know who this is?
Yeah, I don't have a great historical memory.
No,
yeah.
that's okay. That's Angela Davis.
Okay.
Angela Davis, you'll see a fro. Do you know who this is?
Rosa Parks.
Amazing. Easy, right? Do you know who that is?
Yes.
Who's that?
John, I believe it's John Little. I don't remember.
John Lewis.
John Lewis. Sorry.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, I'm bad with names. That's my bad.
That's okay. Last but not least, do you know who this is?
Yes.
Who's that?
Kamala Harris.
Kamala Harris. Are you voting for Kamala Harris?
Yes.
Amazing.
I already did, but
Okay,
yeah.
Amazing. You voted early.
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
And what was your reasoning for voting for her?
I think I just before I think in the 12 months or so leading up to now, even before thinking back so far as 2019, 2018, I was looking at what kind of country I wanted to live in, what the ideological issues that informed that country would be, and kind of not only who the leading candidates were, but down the line what their platforms would be that informed that ideology. And I think it was just the most informed choice I could make.
Amazing. I like it. Sweet. I'm so tired of asking people to interview and them telling me no. Yeah. How rude of them to tell me no. What do you think you're doing? You go to Harvard. I'm just kidding. You're not busy.
Yes.
If you had to vote in this election, obviously you're an international student, but if you had to cast a vote, who would you be voting for?
I'd be voting for Kamala Harris.
Okay, and can I ask you why?
Because I think Trump is scary. I think he subverts democratic norms. He has a tendency to lie. And I also don't like the idea of a 20% tariff on everything.
Yeah.
I don't like the idea of having loose commitments to NATO. That's the main argument.
Phenomenal answers. Would you consider yourself to be more pro-life or pro-choice, and why?
I'm pro-choice. I think that, science has not drilled down the right point of viability for a fetus, and I think that when that happens, people should err on the side of choice. I also think it's better economically for women. If they don't want to have children, they shouldn't be forced to carry a child to term, and that would impact them economically for the rest of their lives.
Yeah, no, I like that. How long have you been in the United States?
I've been in the United States for 3 months almost.
Okay, phenomenal.
So,
From an international perspective, what was kind of what has been the viewpoint, seeing Donald Trump, seeing the election, seeing the past few years, how was that kind of seen from an outside perspective?
Well, I come from Denmark, and I think we have a too one-sided view of things, but we're very critical of Donald Trump and the current state of the Republican Party. And in Europe, we're incredibly scared. We see when Trump talks about leaving NATO, ending the war in Ukraine on day one by cutting support, we get kind of scared, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I think Trump has somewhat of a point in terms of that, Europe needs to stand on its own legs, needs to pay for its own military and defense, and we need to, keep up with our 2% commitment on military spending. But I am scared of, a more isolationist United States, and Europe shares that fear a lot. So,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Beautiful. I love that. How do you think that race and gender have impacted this presidential election?
I think Kamala has largely steered away from questions of race or gender, which I think has been good. I think she can beat Trump as the best candidate for the job, regardless of her race and gender.
Sure.
Although it is, a very historic moment, and I think that people are realizing that as well.
Yeah. What do you think? Do you think that Kamala Harris should support the end of sending weapons aid to Israel?
Okay, this is going to be controversial. No, I don't.
Okay, can I ask you why?
I think that the alternative, which would be a Hamas-controlled one-state solution of the Levant, is much worse.
Do you think that simply stopping the weapons aid would create a Hamas-controlled situation, despite how strong Israel has the control of this situation?
No, but I think it creates a precedent for that, and it leads to a slippery slope. I think that right now she should be pushing for a diplomatic end to the war, as opposed to trying to cut off all military aid to Israel.
Okay. You feel like that's something that is actually attainable?
No, I don't think any side wants a diplomatic solution that's long-term, but I think that there's a solution that can be reached that would stop the bombing as it stands now. But long-term, there's no solution that can be reached because I don't think any side currently wants to share space of the Levant, which is actually very, very sad. But yeah, I think that she can more attainably reach a diplomatic solution that would stop the current war. Long term, that's something that numerous presidents have tried to tackle, and I don't think she'd be able to do that unless there's Netanyahu loses power in Israel, which is possible the way polls are going in Israel right now.
I want to just give you 30 to 60 seconds
Okay.
to say whatever you have on your mind regarding the election.
Sure.
It's your show.
Sure. So I'm from Long Island, New York. Both of my parents are Republicans. My girlfriend is a Republican. I voted for Harris in this election because of what happened on January 6th, and I think that all Americans should be paying attention to that. Donald Trump has said numerous times that he would be a dictator on day one. He is, Project 2025 is full of his aides. He is advocating for a mass restructuring of the federal bureaucracy that I think generally works well right now. I think, you look at what Mark Milley has said, you look at what his chiefs of staff has said, this is a Trump that is going to be very, very different than last election. And I think that should scare all of us. So I voted for Harris. I like Harris as a candidate. I think she has good ideas. Even if you aren't completely, sold on Harris, I think you have to compare her to Trump and not to compare her with God. And I think that's what a lot of people are doing right now. And I think it's very important to remember you have two choices. Pick one that's not going to blow up the state of democracy in the United States.
First question is, how has your experience been here at Harvard as an Asian student?
I think it's pretty good. I think when I applied to Harvard, I wanted to be at a place that had a pretty really big melting pot of cultures, people of all backgrounds. I grew up from a background that was more academic. I did a lot of math in high school, stuff like that. And I think coming to Harvard and being exposed to a lot of diverse perspectives has really informed my college experience. It's been really enjoyable.
Good. Next question.